Wilma arrives at the church, her bridesmaid dress a muted contrast to the jubilant setting. Clutching a bouquet of peonies and gardenias, she seeks solace in their fragrant embrace. Her presence feels like an unwelcome shadow among the vibrant bridesmaids, each laugh a painful reminder of her own unease. The air is thick with joyous chatter, yet Wilma remains isolated, a silent observer in a world of celebration. In the solemn ambiance of the church, Wilma stands among the bridesmaids, a silent observer. Her gaze drifts toward Barney at the altar, a mix of happiness and nervousness etched on his face. Fred, acting as a father figure, looks at Wilma with a tender smile. Wilma catches Fred's eye, a silent exchange passing between them. The church, filled with anticipation, awaits the vows that will bind two souls. The light streams through the stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the floor. Sunlight spills through the stained glass, painting the church in vibrant hues as Wilma sits alone, her mind adrift. Barney, it's funny how things turn out. We go way back. A memory stirs within her, pulling her back through the corridors of time. The church fades as Wilma's memories rise. The past envelops Wilma. The church fades, replaced by a flashback of a bustling college party, alive with youthful exuberance. Wilma, radiating joy in her Wilma Flintstone costume, throws her head back in laughter. Barney, equally spirited in his Barney Rubble attire, joins her, their combined laughter echoing through the room. A subtle undercurrent of attraction sparks between them, a fleeting glimpse of what could be. The moment dissolves into comfortable camaraderie, foreshadowing a friendship destined to endure. In the hushed sanctity of the church, memories flood Wilma's mind, painting vivid pictures of Barney's unwavering support. She recalls his strong arms effortlessly moving furniture, a testament to his reliable nature. Wilma relives the warmth of his comforting presence, a beacon of solace during her darkest hours. Each memory reinforces the depth of Barney's kindness, a stark reminder of his irreplaceable role in her life. The church echoes with silent gratitude as Wilma cherishes the moments of friendship that time cannot erase. The church stands in serene silence, its hallowed halls bathed in soft light. A memory stirs, the present fading as the past begins to bleed through. Echoes of laughter and tears mingle in the air, the walls whispering stories of days gone by. The faces of the departed flicker into view, their presence lingering like ghosts in the sacred space. The air grows thick with nostalgia, the scent of incense replaced by the phantom fragrance of forgotten moments. Time itself seems to unravel, the present moment dissolving into the swirling vortex of memory. Sunlight pierces through the stained glass, painting the church in vibrant hues as dust motes dance in the air. Wilma sits alone, bathed in colored light, lost in the labyrinth of her thoughts. A voice echoes in her mind. "Why aren't you dating?" Wilma retorts, her voice a mere whisper in the vast emptiness. "Because he's Barney." A flicker of doubt crosses her face, a fleeting shadow in the stained glass light. Within the hushed sanctuary of the church, Wilma sits quietly in a pew, her eyes fixed on Betty. Betty's style, from her pearl necklace to her perfectly coiffed hair, captures the essence of the 1950s. Wilma's gaze drifts off, and a vision of doilies fills her mind, adorning every surface of Barney's future home. The church fades as Wilma envisions Barney's home. Wilma pictures countless doilies. Wilma stands in the church, the heavy scent of lilies and roses beginning to overwhelm her. A wave of dizziness washes over Wilma as she fights to maintain her composure. In a moment of silent regret, Wilma thinks, "I regret not drinking enough water before the ceremony." The weight of the moment presses down on Wilma as she quietly battles her discomfort. Sunlight floods the church through stained glass windows, illuminating a nervous Wilma. Her gaze drifts upwards, landing on a wasp trapped in a stained glass window. The wasp frantically buzzes against the glass, desperate for escape. Wilma watches the wasp, its struggle mirroring her own desire for freedom. The trapped wasp embodies Wilma's inner turmoil, both yearning to break free. Inside the church, sunlight paints the scene with vibrant colors through stained glass windows. Wilma sits in a pew, absorbed in the wedding ceremony, but a sudden realization sparks in her eyes. Wilma's eyes grow wide as she is struck by a sudden, profound realization. She might be in love with Barney. Her inner voice whispers, "Oh, Barney," as a tender fantasy begins to unfold in her mind. In the sacred confines of the church, the priest's voice fills the space, a somber resonance as he calls for objections. Wilma sits among the pews, her heart pounding as the priest speaks. A wave of dizziness overcomes Wilma, her face pale and strained. Wilma feels her knees buckling beneath her, the weight of her secret threatening to spill. The church blurs around her, the priest's words echoing like a distant, haunting call. In the solemn quiet of the church, Wilma suddenly falters. A gasp escapes her lips as she begins to lose consciousness. Fred, alert, moves with swift precision. He catches her just before she hits the floor. Fred emerges from the church, carrying Wilma gently in his arms. He moves purposefully away from the bustling church. Fred seeks the quiet refuge of a tree's shade. In the cool shade, he sets her down gently. Outside the church, Fred tenderly guides Wilma to sit on the bench. Fred's voice cuts through the calm as he calls for a glass of water. Wilma reclines, her eyes shut, finding solace in the gentle caress of the breeze. The breeze whispers across her face, bringing a fleeting moment of peace. She finds relief. Under the solemn gaze of the church, Wilma drinks deeply, a moment of quiet desperation unfolding. As the last drop falls, a wave of conflicting emotions, embarrassment, and relief floods Wilma's face. The weight of unspoken words fills the space between them. Wilma pointedly avoids Fred's gaze, the church looming behind them. Under the church's solemn gaze, Fred finds solace against an ancient tree, a silent guardian. Wilma restores herself, her every sip a testament to resilience. Fred watches, a sentinel of calm, ensuring her strength returns. Patience weaves its spell as Fred waits, unwavering until Wilma is renewed. Under the church's shadow, a gesture of truce. Fred extends his hand. With the sun above, Fred declares, "I don't think we've been properly introduced." His voice firm, Fred offers his name with a hint of expectation. "My name is Fred." The church stands silent witness as Fred awaits a response. A moment of quiet tension hangs in the air as Fred's gesture remains suspended. The sun casts long shadows, highlighting the unspoken words between them as Fred waits. Bathed in the golden light of dawn, the church stands as a timeless beacon of hope and solace. Wilma appears, her gentle smile reflecting a heart full of warmth and kindness. She pauses, her name a silent whisper on the tranquil morning air. Wilma. Her presence graces the entrance, promising stories of faith, love, and unwavering spirit. The church watches over Wilma, a silent guardian in the quiet, sun-drenched scene. The dim light casts long shadows across the generic hotel room, highlighting Wilma's solitude. She raises the tiny bottle, her expression unreadable in the subdued light. With a swift motion, Wilma tips the bottle back, the last drops of alcohol disappearing. The empty bottle is lowered, the act complete, leaving only silence and emptiness. In the dim hotel room, Wilma stares intently at her reflection, her brow furrowed with concern. Wilma's face contorts with effort as she tries to flex the tired muscles. She continues to scrutinize every line and shadow reflected back at her. Frustration mounts as she confronts the weariness etched onto her face. The hotel room is cloaked in shadows, a lone bedside lamp offering a meager glow. Wilma sits on the bed's edge, a silhouette against the dim light, lost deep in thought. Her brow furrows, a visible sign of the mental turmoil as she obsessively replays the day's events. Each interaction with Barney is scrutinized, every word weighed and measured in the silence of her mind. Her mental replay shifts to Fred, each fleeting expression and unspoken gesture analyzed with sharp intensity. In the quiet of the room, Wilma's mind becomes a battleground of memories, each one vying for attention. In the serene church garden, Fred walks, his thoughts consumed by Wilma. The sunlight filters through the leaves, casting a soft glow on his face. A gentle breeze stirs the blossoms around him, enhancing his reverie. A faint smile touches his lips as he remembers a shared moment. Lost in his memories, Fred continues his peaceful stroll through the garden. In the radiant church, Barney and Betty stand hand in hand, their faces shining with love. Sunlight floods the church through stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns that dance around the altar. Barney and Betty exchange vows, their voices echoing with profound emotion, filling the sacred space. Wilma sits in a pew, her expression a mask, concealing the inner turmoil that churns within her. The ceremony unfolds, a tapestry of joy and hidden sorrow, woven together in the heart of the church. Sunlight paints the church in vibrant hues as the wedding unfolds, a scene of radiant hope. Yet, an empty seat casts a shadow, as Wilma's absence becomes a silent question mark hanging over the celebration. Whispers ripple through the assembled guests, their glances betraying a growing unease that threatens to unravel the joyous facade. The air thickens with unspoken worries, a palpable tension beginning to suffocate the once festive atmosphere. Outside the church, hushed whispers fill the air as guests gather, their expressions a mix of concern and intrigue. The sunlight catches the worried glances exchanged among the churchgoers, amplifying the mystery surrounding Wilma's sudden collapse. A palpable tension hangs in the air as the guests' gossiping intensifies, their words weaving a tangled web of speculation and rumor. The church facade looms in the background, a silent witness to the unfolding drama and the swirling rumors that threaten to consume the gathering. As the day unfolds, the churchyard transforms into a stage for speculation, each guest playing a part in the drama surrounding Wilma's mysterious fainting spell. In the quiet of the hotel room, Wilma begins to unburden herself, the zipper's soft whisper breaking the silence. The bridesmaid dress slides down, pooling at her feet like shed skin, revealing a moment of pure, unscripted relief. Freed from its constraints, Wilma exhales, a sigh of liberation escaping her lips. In a gesture of finality, she hangs the dress away, embracing the quiet solitude and newfound freedom of the night. In the dim-lit hotel room, Wilma stands frozen near the telephone, her hands suspended in midair. A storm of indecision brews within her, evident in the conflict reflected in her eyes. Caught in a moment of intense contemplation, she hesitates, the weight of choice heavy on her. With a visible struggle, Wilma retracts her hand, the decision made, yet a trace of regret lingers. A sigh escapes her lips, carrying with it the unspoken words and the path not taken. In the dim hotel room, Wilma sits on the bed, the glow of her phone casting shadows across her face. Her brow furrows in confusion as she scrolls through images of gravy boats. Lost in thought, she wonders, a gravy boat? Why on earth would Betty want a gravy boat? The mystery deepens as she ponders Betty's unexpected request. Fred stands before the solemn church, a beacon of patience amidst the sacred grounds. His gaze pierces the entrance, a silent promise of support hanging in the air as he watches for Wilma. Each passing moment heightens his anticipation, his eyes unwavering, prepared to offer his aid. Ready to assist, his presence is a comforting promise against the backdrop of the church. Bathed in the warm glow of daylight, Barney and Betty emerge from the church, radiating joy as a newly married couple. Their faces glow with newfound love and shared dreams. Sunlight catches the delicate details of Betty's dress. Barney's eyes reflect adoration as he looks at Betty. Together, they take their first steps into a future filled with promise and hope. Barney stands outside the church, a sea of unfamiliar faces surrounding him. Confusion clouds Barney's features as he searches for someone he recognizes. Worry begins to creep into Barney's expression as his search proves fruitless. Barney's gaze sweeps across the crowd one last time, desperation tightening his features. In the soft glow of the hotel room, Wilma sits quietly at a small table. A room service cart laden with food promises a quiet respite. With a gentle smile, she unwraps a sandwich, a moment of peace in the solitude. The simple act of unwrapping the sandwich brings a fleeting smile to her lips. In the dim light, Wilma sits alone, the blank pages of her journal mirroring her inner turmoil. A pen hovers, caught between thought and action, above the pristine paper. The pen begins to dance across the page, capturing the whirlwind of her conflicted heart. Wilma's